Hi, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I'm Reverend Theresa Feberts, and I am so happy that you're here with me this morning. You know, I want to start by saying I couldn't do what I do without you, right? I couldn't do what I do without you, and I want you to know how valuable that makes you in my eyes. But you're also valuable in the eyes of Spirit because you are a divine incarnation, right? Oh, fully endowed. You're very special. And so again, I'm happy that you're here with me this morning. We're talking about today the reciprocal nature of the universe. This is how life works. I'm grateful for you, because I couldn't do what I do without you. And it all begins, this idea and this attitude, it all begins in the realization that it is the divine nature of life itself to give. All life is a gift. It's perpetual. It's always, always coming forth in, as, and through us. In, as, and through each other, all things, everywhere, all the time. That's life. And so this month we're focusing on an attitude of gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude. And I am extremely grateful for today has finally arrived. Today is a special day for our community. It's our annual meeting today at 12:30. So after this message this morning and our time together, we'll close and you'll have about 30 minutes to have a bio break and grab another cup of coffee and maybe a sandwich and then join us again. We posted the link for this in Thursday's email, and I'll post it again on Facebook at the end of the talk, but we want you there. You're important. And the center isn't the center without you and without your voice. That's the reciprocal nature of the universe, and that's the reciprocal nature of CSLCC, the reciprocal nature of spiritual community. And it's a personal thing, and it's also collective, right? Because as each one of us grow into our knowing and our awareness, and we're reciprocating throughout our lives, wow, look how we're touching and helping the entire world grow and evolve. We do this work together. We do this work together, and it's good work. I proposed to you last week that during this month and all the way through next month, through the end of the year, that we practice at least 3 ways of gratitude. I suggested that we wake in the morning with 3 ideas of gratitude for our day. Then midday or some other time during the day, stop and feel into what you're grateful for, some gratitudes. And then at the end of the evening, journal. Use a gratitude journal. You want more information on that, go back to last week's talk where we talk about that. And there's also a meditative experience there as well. Let's take this into prayer. For really what I know is that everything that's needed, practices, spiritual practices, ideas, a word, a message, a feeling, an insight, a nudge, everything, anything, it's all right here, right now. Everything that's needed to enhance our lives, to open our hearts, to open our minds to the presence of the divine, to the presence of the source and substance of all life, to the presence of that urge and passion and power that so wants to express its beauty and its truth uniquely in, as, and through each one of us. It's here now. It is right where you are now. Each one of us is endowed with this presence. We are the incarnation of the divine. So we listen. We listen deeply, intuitively, We feel, we feel, we feel the presence. And we recognize truth. And then we move in alignment out into the world, into our doings, our beings. Our presence represents that alignment. I'm so grateful for this truth here and now. And so it is. Now we have a great treat this morning. Elaine Silver's back with us. Many of you know and love Elaine. She is a traveling musician, so she gives this message, her way of ministry through music to New Thought centers all over the world. And so we're so excited that she's part of our family. She is one of our licensed practitioners, and she's also the vice president of the board. So open your heart and your mind to Elaine Silver.
Thank you, Theresa. So this is a song, originally it was titled Thank You for Another Wonderful Day. And it's written by Lisa Ashman and John Tiro, and I have permission to do this song. And there's a lot of worshiping, which is really, really wonderful. But in our teaching in Science of Mind, we don't put God outside of ourselves. Like, we don't say thank you. We say I'm grateful. So there was a lot of rewriting of this week, and I'm excited to do it in a new way. And it's called Another Wonderful Day. I wake up to sunshine. Oh, how I love the sunshine. Or it might be raining. I love the clouds that bring rain. There's so much beauty and more that's concealed. Once I see beauty, it helps me to heal. When I feel such beauty, the goddess within is revealed. Thank you, grateful for another wonderful day. Here's another chance to walk in God's way. Here's a chance to help my brothers and my sisters help each other. Grateful for another wonderful day. God made the mountains, God made the hills and valleys. God made the oceans, God made an ocean of stars. God made us children, inhabit this place. And best of all, in God's image we're made. In all of creation, the depth of this love is displayed. Grateful for another wonderful day. Here's another chance to walk in God's way. Here's a chance to help my brothers and my sisters help each other. Grateful for another wonderful day. Thank you.
Hello, I am Angel Peace, and I am excited to be here with you this morning. In thinking about what it is that I want to share, I scrolled through my pieces and found a piece that is called I Forgot that I had. And I completely resonate with every single thing that it is saying with where I am in this moment, and I felt called to share it with you as well. This is I Forgot. I am not perfect. I'm flawed. I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm learning and I'm growing constantly. Some days I feel that I'm not enough. Some days I feel that I am too much. Some days I know that I am perfect just the way that I am. But I forget my capacity to love, my capacity to understand and to understand myself, to love myself. I spend too much time trying to convince others to love me, to even like me, begging them to see beyond my mess-ups and my mistakes and validate that I am good, validate that I am worthy. I rely on them to tell me when I am good, when my behavior is worthy of love. I forget the good in me, the God in me that is always there, always loving me, guiding me toward better decisions, guiding me toward the best decision, and guiding me toward understanding, loving me ever so gently, calmly assuring me of its presence, its ever-flowing love and acceptance, providing me everything I've ever searched for. It was within me all along. Everything I begged for was here. All the tears, all the pain, all the searching for outer love and validation, it was here the entire time. It wasn't outside of me. It was in me every step of every day. I just forgot to look there. Thank you.
Pretty awesome, Angel. Angel Peace. So this song was written around the idea of enthusiasm and gratitude. And it's kind of like a little country folk song. So you're going to have to imagine the fiddle in this. It's called Lifted and Feeling Free. Gratitude invokes the law of increase. Gratitude brings me inner peace. I'm knowing this truth enthusiastically. I'm lifted and I'm feeling free. Joy invokes the law of increase. Focus on the good intent and then release. I am lifted and I'm feeling free. I'm loving my life enthusiastically. Love invokes the law of increase. Loving myself brings me inner peace. I'm knowing this truth enthusiastically. I'm lifted and I'm feeling free. Da da do 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 do. That's your fiddle. Kindness invokes the law of increase. Do unto others is the sacred peace. I'm knowing this truth enthusiastically. I'm lifted and I'm feeling free. Willingness invokes the law of increase. Focus on the good intent and then release. I am lifted and I'm feeling free. I'm living my life enthusiastically. Gratitude invokes the law of increase. Gratitude brings me inner peace. I'm knowing this truth enthusiastically. I'm lifted and I'm feeling free. I'm knowing this truth enthusiastically. I'm lifted and I'm feeling free. I'm lifted and I'm feeling free. Yeah! I'm lifted and I'm feeling free. Enthusiastic. I'm lifted and I'm feeling free. I'm lifted and I'm feeling free. Thank you.
That was fabulous. Thank you. I've got the groove going on here. I love that. Thanks, Elaine, and thanks, Angel. Always wonderful to have both of you with us. You know, both of them, I failed to say, for Angel too, you know, they both perform at other communities. And so again, it's wonderful to be able to call them part of our family and know that they're part of our family. I came across an article on a website called Center for Humans and Nature. And it so perfectly speaks to my topic this morning. And it was written by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And Robin wrote that book, Braiding Sweetgrass. You may have heard about it. I have heard about it, but not read it yet, but I am definitely going to get it. Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teaching of Plants. Now, Robin is a mother, a scientist, a college professor, and a member of the citizen Potawatomi Nation. Potawatomi Nation. And I'm so struck by what she wrote that I want to read to you from it, which I rarely do, but please settle yourself in and listen to, well, the eloquence of her words, but the imagery, and allow your heart to open to this message. She says, we are showered every day with the gifts of the earth. Gifts we have neither earned nor paid for. Air to breathe, nurturing rain, black soil, berries and honeybees, the trees that became this page, a bag of rice, and the exuberance of a field of goldenrod and asters at full bloom. Though the earth provides us with all that we need, we have created a consumption-driven economy that asks, what more can we take from the earth? And almost never, what does the earth ask of us in return? The premise of the earth asking for something of me, it makes my heart swell. I celebrate the implicit recognition of the earth's animacy and the living planet that has the capacity to ask something of us, and that we have the capacity to respond. We are not passive recipients of her gifts, but active participants in her well-being. We are honored by the request, and it lets us know that we belong. For much of humans' time on the planet before the Great Delusion, we lived in cultures that understood the covenant of reciprocity. The covenant of reciprocity. That for the earth to stay in balance, for the gifts to continue to flow, we must give back in equal measure for what we take. In the teachings of my Potawatomi ancestors, responsibilities and gifts are understood as two sides of the same coin. The possession of a gift is coupled with the duty to use it for the benefit of all. A thrush is given the gift of song, and so has the responsibility to greet the day with music. Salmon have the gift of travel, so they accept the duty of carrying food up river. So here, Robin Wall Kimmerer asks us to ask ourselves, what is my gift? What is your gift? What is your gift? Now I'm going to paraphrase more of what she wrote. She said that we humans recently evolved. And so we lack the gifts of nitrogen fixation, pollination, and a 3,000-mile migrations under magnetic guidance. It's marvelous, isn't it? We can't even photosynthesize. Let's face it. But you know what? Each of us carry a gift. We just saw a gift of Angel's, a gift of Elaine's. You too have a gift. But here's what she said, the most potent gift is gratitude. Gratitude is the most potent gift. She said it might seem like weak tea, you know, when we think about the enormous challenges that we face with our planet Earth. But she said gratitude is powerful medicine. And it's more than just a thank you. It's more than even just recognizing that you're given a gift. It is about the giver. So here I want to break away for a moment and talk about New Thought spirituality and how it fits in. What's the reciprocal nature of the universe from our lens, right? So I'm going to share some thoughts from Thomas Troward, because you cannot talk about the reciprocal nature of the universe, the law of reciprocity, without discussing the work of Thomas Troward, who was an influence upon Ernest Holmes. Thomas Troward wrote the Edinburgh Lectures in 1909, and it's a little tougher read than that eloquence that I just read from our friend Robin. But he talks about the value of waking up to the activity of reciprocity, the law of reciprocity. And I'm going to tell you, just remind you that a law, in this instance, the way we talk about spiritual laws or universal laws, it's an imperative. It's an imperative. It's a universal reality. It applies to everyone, all the time, everywhere, no matter. Okay, that's a law. It gives us the idea that there's a constant relationship between differing variables, because the variables could be us and Mother Earth, as we just heard. Or it could be about you and people in your life. It could be you and your job. It could be you and spirit. Well, it's always you and spirit, right? It's always about spirit. So what he's saying is that we need to wake up. We need to catch on to what's going on. We need to catch on to this play of give and take that is a universal imperative, okay? And he says when we do that, we find countless avenues for the flow of spirit to come through our lives. He said the universal livingness flows through us, whether as giving or receiving. Isn't that interesting? Whether we're giving or receiving, it's about the flow of spirit. And it builds the more we do it, the more we practice this, more we're conscious of it. It builds in our daily lives so that we're each day we're more alive than the day before. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? And so he also explained this further in the Dore lectures. And he said, these are things that we study when you go through practitioner training. And he said that we become, or that we need to wake up to the fact that we're distribution centers for divine energy. And when we wake up, we become an open flow as a distribution center. So we receive guidance because we seek guidance, because we go intuitively and ask, because we sit in meditation, because we make ourselves receptive to that guidance. We seek and receive according to this law of reciprocity. And so our intimacy and our understanding of it is just uber important, because we can only experience what we take and what we give. It's reciprocal. It requires our participation. So now I want to go back to Robin Wall Kimmerer and this article. She said, when I eat an apple, my gratitude is directed towards the wide-armed tree whose tart offspring are now in my mouth, whose life has become my own. Doesn't that just crack your heart open with gratitude? And so she then tells us about the evolutionary advantage that our species has to use gratitude in this way. She calls it an adaptive value because it invokes within us ways to protect, ways to serve, ways to honor, ways to create sustainability. So whether we're talking about in the environment, specifically in the environment, that might look like creating within us a sense of self-restraint, that we are not only that we only take what we need, that we acknowledge the gifts that surround us, that we are immersed in, that we so need for our very sustenance. And it will create then in us a sense of satisfaction, feelings of contentment, which is a radical idea in a consumption-driven society. But she said, indigenous story traditions are full of cautionary tales about the failure of gratitude, when we don't act in gratitude, when people forget to honor the gift. She said the consequences are always material as well as spiritual. The spring dries up, the corn doesn't grow, the animals do not return, and the legions of offended plants and animals and rivers rise up against the ones who neglected gratitude. What a beautiful warning. And a beautiful way to introduce us to the evolutionary effects of our gratitude. The effects of reciprocity, returning the gift in kind. This is how the biophysical world works. There's a balance in ecology, in ecosystems, right? Through cycles of giving and taking, the earth produces an equilibrium, and then life flourishes from that. What happens when there's inaction, when these gifts are taken for granted, when the interactions between us and Mother Earth cause an imbalance? Maybe there's too much taking, too much giving. There's death in the ecosystem, right? So reciprocity is rooted in the understanding that we are not alone. You are not alone. This beloved community, the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast, is your ecosystem. Is your ecosystem. Weekly, we're providing spiritual inspiration, ways to connect in community, prayer support and love, educational opportunities. And sometimes I get close to wanting to beg for your gifts. Not just your financial gifts, but your time and your talents. For your unique gifts to be used in our community. Often you see photos on my slides from people in our community. The divine nature of God, of life, is givingness, is to give, and it is perpetually giving. It is perpetually coming from that infinite, invisible, into form, into visible form. So unlike our natural resources, the source of life cannot be depleted. It's infinite, it's eternal, it's a resource. It is resourcing us all the time. And we do not do anything to earn it or deserve it. It is ever present 24/7 for us, available for us. We are in a reciprocal relationship, a partnership with it all the time, all the time. And so remember in my opening, I said, I can't do what I do without you. I mean, come on, doesn't a minister need a congregation? At least I need someone to pray for. Yeah? So it's an imperative. It's a law that to give my gift, I have to have receivers, right? And then for it to continue to perpetuate, that reciprocal action needs to happen. So I want to shift gears a little bit and just remind us that this reciprocal nature of life applies to all aspects of our lives. Tasha Silver, in her book, It's Not Your Money, talks about this. And she says, we've been treating spirit, God, source, whatever you want to call that creative energy of the universe like a cosmic Costco. Isn't that great? Oh, I laughed out loud. Like a cosmic Costco. And so instead of coming to spirit in gratitude with heart open and hands up in praise, we're kind of like, okay, well, here's what I want today, and here's what I want, and here's what I want. And when we continue to go on with here's what I want, here's what I want, here's what I want, with ingratitude, that's kind of like a closed door there. Gratitude opens us. You can feel the difference in your body. Gratitude opens us, ingratitude closes us. And so here in the book, Living in Gratitude, the author is discussing exactly this thing of ingratitude, being without gratitude. And she encourages us to release what she calls corrosive states of ingratitude. Those are such things as pride, narcissism, entitlement, comparisons, envy, stored up anger, resentment, hatred, even disappointments, which I had to work on last night. Ironically, I had this issue, the very thing that I was talking about today, arise for me last night, and I had to use these very steps that I am talking to you about. But when I was able to flip into gratitude, I found an equilibrium. I found a balance. And you know what happened? I was no longer stuck. I woke up this morning with a fabulous idea, and that is how I found this story. Isn't that great? That's how I found the words of Robin. So I woke to the flow. Yeah? I was no longer standing on the garden hose. Immanuel Kant, an 18th century philosopher, talks about ingratitude with some really strong language. He says it's vile. It's vile. Strong words, but he said our refusal to acknowledge the good that is available, horrible, flagrant violation, he calls it. Taking our gifts for granted. Taking the universal generosity for granted. He talks about ingratitude violates the law of reciprocity. Even by being indifferent, by just being indifferent, we violate the law of reciprocity. By comparing ourselves to others, we violate the law. By constantly striving as if we don't have good for more good and more good and hoarding good, we become bloated and we violate the law of reciprocity. And if you don't know where to begin with this, I'm going to share some words from Dr. Michael Beckwith. He says, as you reach out to touch consciousness, the divine reciprocates by corresponding, by touching you with the hand of divine grace. I honestly could cry right now, tears of joy. To me, that is so beautiful. The idea that when we just surrender and open and reach out with love and gratitude and praise in our hearts, the divine is there for us. Always, always, always. See, again, this law of reciprocity is not just applied to Mother Nature. It's in our relationships, our health, our finances, our creative self-expression. The reciprocal nature really teaches us to become a conduit for its expression, its unique expression. Breathe in now. Breathe in, breathe in. That's a gift. That in-breath, that intake, that inhale is a gift, and our exhale completes the cycle. It is a basic function of life that we utilize all the time. All the time. I want to close with a meditation. Again, Tasha Silver. I don't know that she's related to Elaine, but maybe Elaine wants to look into this. It's not your money. And this is her meditation for giving freely. Forgiving freely. So we invite you, Tasha and myself, to take a moment to focus inside. Let your body settle in and feel your mind grow quiet. Maybe focus on your breath for a moment. In and out. Now imagine a waterfall of light pouring through the top of your head. Waterfall of light pouring through the top of your head. Now hold your hands open as the waterfall streams through you, allowing it to pour out of your hands. Feel it as a natural flow of light. A natural flow that wants to come through you and out into the world. Imagine that this light swirls back upward and again through the crown of your head. Let it form a circular pattern as it comes from your hands and passes through the top of your head and back through your hands. Watch. Open. Feel this circular pattern coming from your hands and passing back through the top of your head, back out through your hands. Just imagine yourself part of this radiant waterfall of light. Know that financial abundance and prosperity are part of this. They're not separate. The more you see yourself as a vehicle for giving and receiving, the more everything that wants to come can come, and everything that wants to go can go. Hold your hands wide open and receive, and wide open to give. Let it be easy. Feel it as a relief. You don't have to cling at all. You don't have to fear. You're a container for giving and receiving. Now slowly come back and just hold this simple image. You yourself are a waterfall of abundance. Even if you don't see it in your bank account yet, it doesn't matter. See it coming in, see it going out. Same thing with your divine gifts. You are part of the waterfall of light. Namaste. And now we're going to go back to Elaine.
All right. Beautiful. I wrote so many haikus during that your talk, Theresa. I'm going to have to share them at some point. This one is called Gratitude is a Magnet. And I rewrote a little bit of this today, too. I did a lot of creating. Gratitude is a magnet. We attract just what we are. So I focus on my gratefulness and send it out, comes back, send it out, comes back. So this one is especially for Reverend Theresa today. Gratitude is a magnet. We attract just what we are. As I focus on my gratefulness, I send it near and far. Oh yes, I send it near and far. Being thankful in the moment, I feel the power in my heart. I radiate the love and the light of God, and I send it near and far. Oh yes, I send it near and far. So this is a little section of the song where there would be a solo. So the solo is going to be these 4 haiku poems that I wrote on gratitude. And the traditional haiku way of presenting is to say the poem once and then repeat it. Thankful in the now, I attract just what I am, and I radiate it. Thankful in the now, I attract just what I am, and I radiate it. I focus on this. Gratitude is a magnetic. It's always working. I focus on this. Gratitude is magnetic. It's always working. Appreciation is gratitude on steroids, feeling others soar. Appreciation is gratitude on steroids, feeling others soar. I'm so grateful now. I feel appreciation for all my blessings. I'm so grateful now. I feel appreciation for all my blessings. Gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation. Gratitude, thankfulness raises my vibration. Gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation. I'm transformed. Gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation. Gratitude, thankfulness causes co-creation. Gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation. I'm reborn. Gratitude is a magnet. It is living, breathing art. I'm knowing my connection, 'cause I can feel it in my heart. I feel it in my heart. Gratitude is a magnet. We attract just what we are. As I focus on my gratefulness, I send it near and far. Oh yes, I send it near and far. I send it near and far. Gratitude is a magnet. And so it is.
Love it. Thank you, Elaine. Beautiful. Amazing how the creativity flows through Elaine, and she has great gratitude, and the haikus, she can't stop them. That's the universe in action. The universe basically giving all the time. So reciprocity, the flow, the movement, the circulation that I talk about. Stretton Smith, who created the 4T prosperity class, talked about the 4 T's were tithing, talent, treasure, and time. So maybe today you don't have a lot of treasure, but you may have time. You may have a lot of talent. How do you share? How do we give? Our center needs money, needs our time. Even though we're not meeting live, there's a lot of work going on in the background, and without others providing some of their time, maybe you're a bookkeeper and you could help Reverend Theresa with the books, write some checks, whatever it is. There's a flow that we can create within ourselves. There's a flow we can create with the universe around us. And I'm simply inviting you to create that flow, to move something. To move something, as Michael Beckwith always said, I think he almost said it every Sunday. If there ain't no flow, there ain't no grow. So if you're looking to grow spiritually, you're looking to grow somehow in your life, some area of your life, there has to be a flow and a movement and a sharing and a giving and a receiving. So join me in that. And Evan is posting the 4 ways that you can give, and just find a way that makes sense. And maybe it's some time and talent that you have right now. So love and blessings. And just know that as we give forth, we bless. I am blessing. I take this moment to bless the gift and the giver, knowing that we are creating powerful ministry together as we flow together and move together, and all is good and all is God, and I am grateful, and so it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rev G. Thanks very much. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Angel and Elaine and Rev G, our family, those of you that are here with us this morning. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. You know, even your comments popping on and saying, good morning, beloved community. Hi, friends, you know, hello from Tulsa, hello from wherever you are. I mean, that is so beautiful. That's a participation. That is you using your energy and expending your energy to help create more energy in our beloved community. And so I just want you to know how incredibly grateful I am for that. I just posted the link for our Zoom annual meeting. We're not doing the Zoom chit chat social hour today. We're doing an annual meeting. That annual meeting, I should have looked before I was ready to say that. I think it's scheduled out at like an hour and 15 minutes. Should not really be much longer than that. We're actually closing a teeny bit earlier for you today to give you an extra few minutes. You've got, it starts at 12:30. The link was also shared with you. I said this in the beginning. It was shared with you Thursday in the email, so you can find it there. Like if you're on YouTube, go back to your Thursday morning email. It's there. I'll post it again right before I close out this morning. But your voice is important. It's very, very important. And one of the things that we're going to be doing today is we're going to take a poll to see if you're ready for us to start meeting in person again. You know, we've really been all over the map with that. Some of you never wanted us to close, and others are not ready to come back. So I want to get a sense of really what the numbers look like about that. And we'll have a Q&A time at the end of the meeting too, to have some discussion on that or anything else that you want to talk about. But your voice is very important. It is always important to me, but it's important to the functioning, the health of our community. That's the reciprocal nature, right? So again, thank you so much for being here with us. I love you to pieces, mwah, and hope to see you soon, shortly at 12:30. Gonna let Bobby close out with a song.
Thank you, Theresa. And don't forget, as always, if you would like prayer support, please email prayer@cslculturalcoast.org. All right, we're ending like we are the rest of the month with Attitude of Gratitude by Richard Makdiki. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I thank the universe for each new day, whether it's sunny or it's pouring rain. In any situation, time or place, my grateful heart creates a state of grace. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. The darkness taught me how to praise the light. Wrongness teaches me. Wrongness makes me hunger for what's right. Now there's not any place where I don't see heaven's blessing pouring down on me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. When Jesus fed the hungry multitude, he did it with a grateful attitude. Although it looked like there was not enough, he thanked his Father for abundant love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I won't be waiting when my ship comes in. Won't trade my here and now for something then. I'm finding pleasure in the simple things. It doesn't matter what tomorrow brings. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I used to cry for deliverance, send desperate pleas to the heaven. But it wasn't until I gave up and got still I could see all the gifts I'd been given. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the meeting.